What's up YouTube, it's your boy Stans here, and welcome back to another top 10 list video here on the channel. And as you guys can see via the thumbnail, what you guys are looking at right now, we are going to be going over my top 10 favorite Kanto Pokemon. And just to let you guys know, as you guys heard, it is my list, it is my own opinion, you guys have your own opinion, but I would love for you guys to let me know in the comment section below what your top 10 favorite Kanto Pokemon are. So without further ado, let's get straight into our list. Coming in at number 10, I guess it can be attributed to me kind of cheating on this list, where there's actually 11 as opposed to the actual 10, but it is what I call the power couple of Generation 1 in Kanto. And we're talking about Nidoking and Nidoqueen. If you guys don't know what these are, these Pokemon can only be one gender. So of course you have Nidoran male, Nidoran female, and of course it turns into Nidorino, Nidorina, Nidoking, and Nidoqueen respectively. And these guys are earth or ground poison type Pokemon, and then pretty much powerhouses, and the moveset that they can learn are pretty cool, like Horn Drill, Earth Power, stuff like that, of course with Poison Jab. So these Pokemon are pretty cool, and some of my favorite design Pokemon of all time. But yeah, this is number 10. Coming in at number 9 is the cute, motherless Cubone. And I know it sounds horrible when I say that, but Cubone as a Pokemon is more memorable than Marowak is overall. Even though Marowak eventually gets a newer form, looks pretty cool and whatnot, still not as great as Cubone is, to be honest with you. But my love for Cubone recently happened via the Major League Pack battle that I do on my YouTube channel, where pretty much is one of our mascots on the channel. So that's where my love for Cubone is as well. But yeah, that is my number 9. Coming in at number 8 is the Pokemon known as Vileplume. This grass/poison type Pokemon is actually pretty fun to play with. Now, my love for this Pokemon usually comes from Pixelmon series that I do on my YouTube channel. At one point, it basically was with me from the start of my season in that series, all the way to the very end. Vileplume is a very cool Pokemon to have, especially just in the Kanto region. Vileplume also is pretty dominant in the TCG. If you guys do play the trading card game, a pretty good card. It's always had a pretty decent card out there. So Vileplume is pretty cool to have and pretty great Kanto type Pokemon. Coming in at number 7 is the powerhouse known as Rhydon. Now, this may contribute to his further evolution that he gets in Generation 4, but Rhydon as a Pokemon himself in Kanto region Generation 1 is actually pretty cool. Seeing him first in the anime with taking Pikachu's Thunderbolts and whatnot, it just showed how dominant Pokemon Rhydon can be, and that may contribute to his reasoning for being my number 7 Pokemon from the Kanto region. Coming in the number 6 spot is only one of the evolutions, and that evolution is Jolteon. Now, I could potentially cheat and put in all of them, because they're all great in their own right, especially even Eevee himself or herself. But I kind of already cheated with Nidoking and Nidoqueen, so I decided to only pick Jolteon. He is a great lightning electric type Pokemon that you can potentially use in the Kanto region. Actually pretty quick as well. So he is a good Pokemon to have on your team if you are just doing a Kanto team only. Marking our halfway point in our top 10 list is none other than Ninetales. As you guys saw in my last top 10 video, Ninetales is actually pretty high up there, and it's for a good reason. Ninetales not only has a great design, great typing, great moveset, it's actually just a good Pokemon overall. Very much a fan favorite, but Ninetales does make number 5 just because there's 4 more in the Kanto region that are above Ninetales. Coming in at number 4 is Beedrill. As much as I hate bees in real life, I think the design and the Pokemon Beedrill in the Pokemon game is actually pretty cool. I like the stingers on both its hands and, of course, on its tail. And I love seeing it in the anime a lot during the Indigo Plateau season and whatnot, where it would probably chase away, like, Jesse and James. Sometimes did it to Ash, Brock, and Misty. Overall, I thought Beedrill was a pretty cool Pokemon, and I got excited every now and then when I would see him in, like, Generation 5, along with, like, Scolipede and stuff like that. I don't know, Beedrill's really cool, and, of course, it does get a Mega Evolution later on, but that's basically a topic all in its own right is Mega Pokemon. We'll talk about that later, but Beedrill does fit the bill for my top 10 Pokemon from the Kanto region. Coming in at number 3 is Dragonair, and you guys may be shaking your head or scratching your head wondering why Dragonite is not my number 3, but the design differences between Dragonair and Dragonite from when they evolve is so much different that I hope that I'm not the only one that was disappointed when you saw that Dragonite came from Dragonair. Now, Dragonair is just such more of a majestic Pokemon, and it turns into Dragonite that's a little derpy. Don't get me wrong, Dragonite is a great Pokemon in its own right, but he is looking a little derpy, not just really majestic as Dragonair was himself. Dragonair, I believe, had an episode about it being in the lake. I'm not entirely too sure what season it was in, but it was a pretty fun episode, and I actually enjoyed watching it just because Dragonair was there. Of course, Dragonair is a powerhouse of teams like Claire's Dragon team from Blackthorn City in Generation 2 and stuff like that. So Dragonair does see a lot of being on teams and whatnot. Of course, it turns into Dragonite, so that's great too. But Dragonair is my number 3. Coming in at number 2 is Kabutops. Now, I knew I had to fit in one of the fossil Pokemon on this list. To be honest with you, Kabuto and Omanite are just not that great. Omastar, again, is not that great either. So it was either between Kabutops and Aerodactyl. Both Pokemon are actually really cool, very popular. Well, I believe Kabutops is really popular. I'm not entirely too sure if anybody else actually thinks Kabutops is pretty cool too. Kabutops does have its sights in its hand, but of course, people saw another Pokemon in this generation with sights in its hand, so that might have attributed to that Pokemon being more popular than this one, just because they saw that one earlier in the Red and Blue franchise. But that Pokemon, of course, being Scyther getting another evolution. Kabutops has just been Kabutops for all 7 generations. Now, Kabutops just has a really sleek design. Of course, it is a fossil Pokemon. I know it comes from Kabuto that looks like a fucking cockroach. And so it kind of makes sense. But I still think Kabutops actually looks really cool. And I like the little moveset that he has. It could be better, but I like the little moveset it does have in the games. But yeah, that is my number 2. Coming in at number 1 is none other than Electabuzz. And you guys, again, my list has just been all over the place. You guys may be wondering why Electabuzz is my number 1. In my Pixelmon series, a lot of my Fire Red Leaf Green playthroughs, I did end up catching an Electabuzz and using them all the way through. Now, Electabuzz is a really cool Pokemon, and I remember back in the day I was playing Pokemon, I think it was XD Gale of Darkness, and I got myself an Electabuzz that had Ice Punch, Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, and Cross Chop, or something like that, and I thought it was a really cool moveset, and I was like, that's pretty unique that something like an Electabuzz can learn that. Of course, this also contributes to the fact that my favorite Pokemon of all time is Electivire. So when the time comes for the Generation 4 of Sinnoh video to come out, you guys should already know what number 1 is on that list. But this is the reason why I like the Buzz. Wait, real quick. Spoiler alert. For Generation 2, Elekid is not my number 1 favorite Pokemon for Johto. Just throwing that out there. So you guys have to watch that video to find out what my number 1 Johto favorite Pokemon is for that video. But of course, guys, that is my number 1, my personal favorite, Electabuzz. And that brings us to the end of our video, guys. That is my top 10 favorite Kanto Pokemon from Generation 1, Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, Leaf Green, Fire Red, every Pokemon game that included Generation 1, Pokemon, Kanto, whatnot. These are my top 10, guys. So, of course, my personal list, I would love for you guys to put in the comment section below what your personal list of top 10 Pokemon is. And, of course, make sure you click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'm doing these top 10 videos every other week, so catch me back in 2 weeks as we talk about Pokemon Gold and Silver, the Johto Pokemon, my top 10 favorite Johto Pokemon coming in 2 weeks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video as well. But until next time, guys, peace!